Hi, welcome to Radiant Heart Yoga. My name is Jane and I'm going to guide you through a practice to stretch out your triceps. And the way that we're going to do that is through various different arm binds and weaving those into different poses, seated, kneeling, standing poses. And by the end you're going to feel a really lovely stretch there. It's quite a hard area to get into really. Lots of strengthening work in the practice but not that much flexibility work. So from here you're going to come onto your knees, just facing the front of your mat, and then from here you're going to just have your hands down by your sides and you're going to inhale, lift your shoulders up, and exhale, drop them down. Inhale, lift, exhale, drop. Just doing that a few times. So we need to warm up, free up the shoulders. There'll be some wrist work as well in the practice. 3 and 2 and 1. And then you're going to bring your fingertips onto your shoulders and begin to circle your elbows. Just hugging in and softening your front ribs and lengthening your tailbone as you do this movement, and then going in the opposite direction. And from here you're going to reach your arms out, and we can add like a cleansing breath, like a Kapalabhati breath to this, but you're going to inhale, take your arms back, and exhale, bring them in. Inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. So this is actually contracting the triceps a little bit to warm them up. And release. And then you'll still be facing the front of your mat, but you're going to come into a child's pose. So you're going to come into a child's pose and then walk your elbows forwards, nestle your head down, and bring your hands to the back of your neck or the base of your skull, and keep walking your hands forwards or your elbows forwards till you feel a stretch, and then pull. Sink your hips even deeper towards your heels and pull your elbows back energetically. So you're not going to move them, but you're pulling them back. And then bring your arms forwards and come all the way into a Sphinx pose. And then from here, you're going to straighten your right arm, hold from underneath your shoulder, and then drop that shoulder down. Inhale, press back up. Exhale, drop the shoulder down. One more. Inhale, press up. Exhale, drop the shoulder down. And then from here, back to Sphinx, and then switch inside. So straighten your left elbow. Thread your hand through to hold your shoulder. Inhale here, and then exhale. Tip your shoulder down. Inhale, exhale. One more. Inhale and exhale. And then from here, you're going to wrap your right arm over your left and see if you can come into eagle arms. Maybe just holding your thumb, or you can hold opposite shoulders. But you're going to walk your elbows as far out as you can, and then rest your head into your arms. And again, think about dragging your elbows back. So even though it's a big stretch for the back of the shoulders, you're going to be pulling your elbows back and feeling the stretch moving into your triceps. And then release. And from here, widen your knees a little bit, and you're going to come all the way up, and inhale, reach your arms up, find your prayer hands again, take them to the back of your neck, and then soften your ribs in again, lengthen your tailbone, inhale, lift your elbows up, bring your hands to Kali Mudra, top of your inhale, and then exhale, rounding in and bringing your fingertips to the floor, and then sliding down and bringing your forehead to the floor. And then come onto your forearms again, but this time keep your knees down, and then from here you're going to walk your elbows back again. Find your prayer hands behind the back of your neck, and then from here keep walking your elbows forwards, and then pull your chest back and down towards the floor. And then release, stretch your arms out, lift your head up, bring your right leg out to the right, and then fold back in. And then coming up, you're going to walk your hands across towards this right foot. And then from here, you're going to bring your right elbow to the floor and bring your hand to the back of your head. Reach your left arm up and clasp your hands behind the back of your head. And really stretch your elbows away from one another. And then release that, and you're going to scoot this left knee forwards, and then we're going to repeat that but from a seated position. So you're going to slide this right elbow out over your right leg and maybe bring it to the floor, and then bring your hand behind your head, clasp and lift your gaze and lift this elbow up. And then from here, you're going to come up and you're going to stretch your right leg out and bring your right leg over, so you're in half of Gomukhasana, and then you're going to take half Gomukhasana arms and fold forwards, pressing down onto this right elbow as you come and fold over your legs. And then inhale, come up, and you're going to bring your hands behind you and scoot your hips forwards. Come onto your forearms, and then you can stay with a single wrap or you can double wrap with your legs, and then lift your chest up. And then from here, you're going to roll on to your left side. And then from here, you're going to roll on to your left side, and again you can single or double wrap, and then you're going to come on to this left elbow, clasp your hands behind the back of your head, lift your elbows up away from one another, and then from here roll back onto your back and lower all the way down. And then drop your And then from here, you're going to roll onto your left side and bring this left elbow, so you're pressing it into the floor, and then take your hands behind your head and reach your elbows away from one another and press them back behind you. And then keep your clasp, roll to your right and press your arms out to the sides. And then bring them over the crown of your head and press them out. And then roll back onto your left forearm, and you're going to hold onto your left foot and stretching out, looking over your right shoulder. And then from here, you're going to press yourself up and bring your right foot into the sole of your left foot. And then you're going to reach around with your left hand and hold the outside of your right ankle, and then bring your left knee to the floor and lean into this left shoulder and press your right knee away. So you're holding on to support yourself, press it and just let your head relax down to the side. And then press yourself up, and you're going to bring this right arm underneath, come onto your left forearm, and you'll be able to see a little bit better on the other side, the position of my hand, and then lift your chest up. And then come up and take this right leg behind you. So you're like in a deer pose. And again, you're going to take your hands behind you, lift your chest, so stretching out the wrists and the forearms, dropping your head back. And then come up, and you're going to shift so that your left knee faces forwards. And then from here, you're going to take your left arm up and stretch that left elbow, pressing it down your back. And then leaning into the floor with this left elbow, pushing it back down so your hand goes back down the middle of your back. And then inhale, come up, roll onto your belly. Just give your hips a little shake, side to side. And then bring your left arm on top of your right. Walk your hands out and then come into your eagle bind, reaching your elbows forwards and pulling as if you're pulling your elbows back. And then releasing your hands. And from here, you're going to press yourself up, and you're going to come back, reaching your arms up into your camel pose, bringing your hands behind the back of your neck. Inhale, lift your chest, lift your elbows, reach your hands up, Kali Mudra, and then exhale, folding forwards, bowing your head down, stretching your arms forwards. And then from here, bring your elbows to the floor. And then you're going to walk your elbows forwards. And again, bring your hands in prayer to the back of your head. So you can shift your hips back over your knees. Walk your hands forwards and then pull. You're pulling your elbows back. And then reach your arms forwards, dropping your chest towards the floor. And then stretch your left leg out to the left. Come onto your heel and then sink back into that same shape. Walking your hands up and bringing your hands to your left hand to the inside of your left leg. And then maybe you can come down onto your forearm and maybe onto your elbow, clasping your hands behind the back of your head and reaching this elbow up. And then from here, bringing yourself up, and you're going to sit behind this right knee and stretch your left leg out to the left. So we're going to do exactly the same thing, but from a seated position. So you're going to slide your left elbow out along this left leg, maybe bringing your elbow to the floor, taking your hand behind the back of your head and lifting this right elbow up. And then coming up, and you're going to straighten your right leg and bring your left knee across. And then you're going to reach your left elbow up, pressing that elbow down so your hand slides down your back, and then maybe folding forwards, tipping forwards, reaching your elbow forwards at the same time as you press it down your back. Big tricep stretch there. And then inhale, come up, and you're going to reach your hands back. Come back onto your forearms, and then single or double wrap with your legs. Lift your chest. And then you're going to keep your legs. You're going to roll to the right. Come onto your right elbow. And then take your hands back behind the back of your head and clasp. And then keep your clasp, roll onto your upper back and pull your elbows across to the other side. And then come back up onto this right forearm. You're going to hold onto your right leg, the right foot, and stretch your left leg out to the left. And then pressing yourself up, bringing your left foot to the inside of your right foot. Let this right knee drop towards the floor. And then you're going to thread your right arm through and hold the outside of your left ankle. So this is your anchor. And then from here, you're going to tip and bring this right shoulder to your right knee. And then press your left knee away. And just let your head release down. And then inhale, come up, lean back. So you're going to thread this left arm underneath. So you're bringing your palm, flexing your hand, and then dropping your head back. And then release. And you're going to take this left leg back behind you. So you're in a deer pose. And then take your hands back behind you again. Now really stretch and push through the hands. Press the floor away. Opening up the wrists, stretching the forearms. And then release. And you're going to scoot so that your right knee faces forwards. And now you're going to hold your right elbow with your left hand and lean into this right elbow and gaze up. And then release, come up and come back to your knees. And then bring your hands either parallel your arms, or you can clasp your hands. You're going to curl your toes under and lift up into a dolphin pose. So you can stay with your knees down if that's a little bit too deep. And then lower your knees down. And inhale, reach your arms up. Reverse prayer. Find a little seed mudra. Bringing your hands down towards the crown of your head. And then take your right elbow again. And maybe you can reach your left arm up and find your right fingers. And if that doesn't happen, you're just going to hold on to this elbow again. And then from here, you're going to step your right foot forwards. Inhale, reach up. Reach this right elbow up. And then from here, release your right arm up. Bring your hands to prayer and drop a little bit deeper. And then bring your left hand to hold your right shoulder, and then clasp your hands and lift this elbow up. So into an arrow bind, bending that knee, dropping a little bit deeper. And then from here, going to spin your left foot back and turn to face the long edge of your mat. And then you're going to inhale, tip. And then as you exhale, come back to your half Gomukhasana and drop this right elbow down. And then release. And again, you're going to sit behind this left leg and stretch your right leg out to the right. So repeating that. And then you're going to bring your hands behind you and bring your hands into reverse prayer position. Just walking your hands up your back, and you can always hold opposite elbows if this doesn't work for you. Take a big breath in, and then as you exhale, turn and tip over this right leg. Roll your shoulders back, bowing forwards. And then inhale, come up. Release your mudra, bring your hands to prayer and bring the soles of your feet together. And then you're going to bring your prayer hands so your fingertips face in, and then fold into another forward fold, and you can push your hands or your arms into your legs to anchor your legs as you fold forwards. And then sweeping your hands back behind you, parallel your feet. Inhale, lift your hips up. So a little bit of strengthening work here. Inhale here, and then as you exhale, bend your elbows, drop your hips towards your heels. Inhale, lift. And walking your hands forwards, pressing your knees down. And then just sliding back and coming back onto your forearms. So we're going to repeat that again on the other side. So from here, clasping your hands or keeping your forearms parallel, and then stay on your knees or pressing yourself up into a dolphin pose. And then lower your knees down. Inhale, reach your arms up, reverse prayer. And then taking your left elbow, bringing that left hand down the center of your back and reaching your right arm up and side. And then big breath in, and you're going to step your left foot forwards, reach your arms up into prayer position, and then hold your left shoulder from underneath, come into your arrow bind, reaching your arms up, dropping a little bit deeper into your lunge. And then you're going to sweep this right foot back, and then keeping your arrow bind, inhale, tip to the right, and then exhale over to the left. And then from here, you're going to release, and you're going to sit behind this right leg again and stretch your left leg out. And then bring your hands behind, and again wriggle your hands up if you can, or just hold opposite elbows into reverse Namaste Mudra. Inhale here, and then exhale, turn over this left leg and tip into a forward fold. So this is a big stretch. There's a lot of stretches for the wrists here in this practice. And then inhale, come up. You're going to release that mudra, bring the soles of your feet together, bring your hands to prayer, and then bring your fingers in and press them into your sternum as you fold forwards into your diamond shape with your legs. And then release your hands back. Stretch everything out in a tabletop. And then walk your hands forwards, press your knees towards the floor, and now you're going to come into a forward fold. So you can have your knees a little bit bent if you need them. Coming into a forward fold. Bringing your hands to prayer, coming halfway up. And then from here, you're going to bend your left knee, bring your elbow onto your knee, turn your hands so your fingers point in opposite directions, push your hands together and twist, lifting this right elbow up towards the ceiling. And then from here, you're going to bring your hands forwards into prayer and inhale, come all the way up. Bring your left hand around, find your arrow bind again, and then you're going to bring your left knee up and bring your left leg into tree pose. And then release and bend this right knee, and bring your left foot onto your right knee, and bring your elbow into your knee and twist. And then from here, bring your hands into prayer. You're going to lean into this left leg and bring your right knee leg into tree pose. Find your arrow bind again. And then start to bend this left knee and bring your right foot to your left knee and bring your right elbow into your knee and twist to the right. And then from here, you're going to wrap your right arm underneath your right knee, just like we did before, flexing your hand, pointing your left hand down. So it's another variation of tree pose. And then from here, you're going to sweep your right leg back to a high lunge, and then reach your arms back, just contract those quadriceps a little bit, and then fingertips to the floor, come into pigeon pose. Have a little sway in your pigeon pose, or even circling through the upper body. And then from here, bending your back knee and reaching for your foot. And then bringing your foot closer in. Ooh. Maybe bringing your foot into your elbow crease, and then taking your hands in front. And then from here, holding on to the foot, reaching back for the opposite elbow and pressing back into a back bend. And then from here, lean into this left hip, sweep your right leg all the way around, come back to your reverse prayer position and fold over your legs. And then bring your hands back and lift onto your left foot. And then from here, you're going to turn your right hand back and you're going to lift your hips up, and you're going to bring your left elbow to your right knee, lift your hips up, and then hold your right elbow with your left hand, and now you've got everything lined up, elbow, knee and foot. Slowly lowering down and then sweeping this left hand back, and inhale, lift your hips up tabletop, walk your hands forwards, drop your knees down and come into a forward fold again. And then from here, bring your hands to prayer, inhale halfway, and exhale, bend your right knee and bring your right elbow, and then bring your palms, so your fingers facing opposite directions, push your hands together and twist to the left. And then from here, you're going to come up, bring your left foot into tree pose, reach your arms up, and then take your right arm around to your left shoulder and find your arrow bind, lifting that left elbow up. And then bending your right knee, bringing your left foot to rest on your right knee, bring your left elbow to your knee and twist to the left. And then from here, you're going to hook your hand underneath this left elbow underneath your leg. Bring your right hand to face down, flex your left palm into this version of Shiva's pose, and then release this left leg back into a high lunge and reach your arms back behind you. And then from here, bring your hands to the floor, cup the floor, and bring your right knee to the back of your right hand and slide your left leg back into a pigeon pose on this side. And then you can just sway side to side, or you can circle with your torso. And then from here, you're going to reach back for this left foot with your left hand, and then pulling that foot in, and you can stay here, or you can bring that foot into your elbow and clasp your hands and find a twist there. And then release, hold that foot, reach the right arm around for your elbow, and then press back into a back bend. Release the back foot. You're going to swing that leg around and cross one knee over the other. Reach your hands back. Find your reverse prayer and tip over your legs. And then reach your hands back. Step into your right foot and bring your left ankle on top of your right knee. Turn your left hand to face back and bring your right elbow into your right knee. So from here, you're going to lift your hips up. You're going to reach back for your left elbow with your right hand and then push your right elbow and your knee into one another. Lift your hips up. Slowly releasing down, and then this time come all the way down onto your back. Bring your feet in, and then you're going to turn to the right and reach for your left foot. Lifting your hips up and then bringing your left arm alongside your ear. So you're twisting your arm underneath you and stretching this whole left side of your torso. And then slowly lower down. Come back through center, swivel over to the other side, and then reach across, lift your hips, and stretch this right arm alongside your ear. Turning your head to the left, and then slowly lowering down. And you can reach your legs up in the air and just hug your shoulders and take a few breaths here. Or you can come into an inversion by just a gentle inversion, rolling back and bringing your knees to rest on your forehead. Find your breath. And then slowly rolling down. And just circling your knees. Just a few times in each direction. Hopefully you can feel the effect of the practice in your arms. And then from here, sliding your feet out, opening your arms out, rolling your shoulders under, and settling into Shavasana. Let go of anything that isn't essential. Only bring the essentials. Release anything that's holding you back from feeling the way that you want to feel or doing what you want to do. Taking this time to see clearly where you're headed, where you want to go, and following your heart as you move towards your dreams. And when you're ready, you're going to slide your legs in. Maybe take a big stretch and roll to your side. And then press yourself up to a seat. So, thank you for sharing that practice with me. I hope you can feel your triceps and your shoulders and all your wrists and all around that area. It's all interconnected. So if you enjoyed that flow, then subscribe to my channel or like the video, leave me any comments or any suggestions, and I'll see you on the next